There was a photograph on our bed that wasn't ours. A glossy 4x6 of her laughing with someone whose hand was wrapped around her shoulder, like he'd always belonged there. I picked it up as if it might burn me. It was half hidden under the duvet where she'd been making the bed that morning, as if it had slipped from her pocket and decided to stay. The date on the back was last month. Her smile in the picture was the same smile she used for me when I fixed her coffee. A private joke rendered public by silver halide and light. I didn't storm. I went quiet in a way that made the house louder. The refrigerator hummed too close. The clock ticked like a judge. I put the photo back and made a plan that was all questions without answers. I checked her phone later when she was in the shower, not because I wanted to become someone who violates trust, but because the photo had combusted something in me that acted before better parts could speak. There were messages threaded like a secret language, short, precise, affectionate in a way I hadn't seen in months. Dates, coffee shop meetups, a nickname I never heard. The first reply said, "Can't wait to see you," and it landed like a pebble in my slow-moving life, sending ripples I could not smooth away. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. Instead, she offered me a map of how we arrived at the crossroads. She had been going to a yoga class that met at dusk, she said, and then sometimes they would get dinner. He was a friend at first, she said, someone who had listened when I had stopped. He was not a villain carved from bad intentions. He was an answer to a question I hadn't known we were asking. Who listens? The affair wasn't cinematic. It was ordinary. Coffee cups, small talk, the soft architecture of someone paying attention. Maybe what hurt most was how plain the betrayal was. Not a thunderbolt, but a slow drip that eventually carved a canyon where our marriage lived. We hit the expected beats, anger that felt righteous and white-hot, nights spent in separate rooms, and the peculiar pain of watching someone you've loved become a stranger who knows where you keep your slippers. But there were also moments of brutal honesty. She told me about mornings she felt alone, even when I was there, about nights I chose the glow of my laptop over the warmth of her hand. I told her about the ways I had retreated into work, thinking I was protecting us by building something stable and failing at being present. We tried counseling because the alternative, pretending nothing had happened, seemed worse than the work it required to try and stay. The therapist made us uncomfortable in the way good medicine does, naming the small cruelties, forcing apologies that weren't tidy. Rebuilding took time. Trust didn't return whole. It was pieced back like